Hello guys, welcome to yet another video from the University of Namibia. Today we'll be talking about the process of applying online as a returning student. If you are a new student and you like to know how to apply, please make sure to check out our video on how to apply as a new student. But today we'll be talking about returning students. By returning students, UNAM refers to such people as students that have studied at UNAM before and they have student number, whether you completed your studies or not. Students that have applied with us either this year or last year or previous years and were issued numbers, whether you managed to come study with the university or not, you are regarded as a returning student. So if to start off quickly, please visit our website, which is then www.unam.edu.na. Once on our website, go under study at UNAM, the third tab, which is then online application returning students. If you click on it, you'll find a welcoming tab like this. On the far right, you'll find tabs that are showing you how to apply, how to register, whether you need to change your personal information, or contact info if you need to make some payments. All these tabs are on here. So this is then the screen for all the returning students. The first thing that you need to make sure that the student tab, which is usually by default, is clicked. But if you accidentally click on the others, like alumni or personnel, the staff members, please make sure that you're under the student. Secondly, you should then have your student number that was issued to you, whether it was this year when you applied for the first time or the previous years. In the cases where you do not remember your student number, please, you can call student records at UNAM, give them your ID number, date of birth, a brief of your information, and they'll be able to issue you your student numbers. So in my case, I applied this year already and I was issued a student number. So that is my number that I have. In the cases where you don't remember your PIN, you can just say request a PIN right here. Now, two things can happen. The PIN gets emailed to you immediately within a second. If you do not receive that PIN, please check under your junk and spam folders. It could have gone there. It could also be that the email address that you might have applied with, you may no longer have access to it because we send the PIN to that particular email address. So again, call our student records. The details we provided at the end, they're also available on our website as well, and ask them to update your email address, and the PIN will be then sent to that email address that you have given us. The same concept applies in the cases if you say request PIN and you're getting an error that there is no email address attached to your account. Again, you can call our student record and they will be able to reset and update your information. In my case, luckily enough, I know my PIN, so I'll just put in my PIN and I'll say login. Once I go in, it's a new student. This is the same screen that you should be familiar with. So this is where you will be filling in your application for academically, residence in terms of accommodation, and then when the time is right, when the registration circle is opened up, you can then register online when you have been admitted. So today's focus will then be on application. This is the same thing that is used by the new students as well as returning students that want to come study for the following academic year. So if you click on under application, there's like a few tabs here, all these ones. You need to complete all of them in that particular order. The first tab will then be to read and accept the rules to come engage at the University of Namibia. You can print them out here. If you are ready and you are happy with the rules, you can then accept them by clicking I accept. Once done, click on return and you have signed off the application rules for this particular application. You can then update your personal information. If for some reason data here has changed or you need to be corrected, just make the amendments. If not, just click on save. Back, then you go to the third tab, which is schools attended. So under here, you need to put in all the schools that you have attended from grade 1 up to your current grade. In this case, you need to get a school name. If you do not yet know what some of these steps mean, please feel free to check out our first video where we extensively explained what each one of them. But in brief, this is what you use to fill in data where there's a magnifying glass. Please use it so that it can give you pop-ups. So in my case, I'm going to look for my school. Luckily enough, I was only at one school. So I'll then say it's Rehoboth High School. From which year? And then you need to put in the year. It could be that it's from 19. This is just random data. So you can please make sure to fill it in with correct data. The month, as you can see, it says 2 digits there. So please make sure it's 2 digits. So if it's January, which is 1, make it 01. If it's March, which is 3, it's 03, not just 3. And then to which year, it could be the following year. And then the month, maybe it's November 4/11. Once you are happy, just save it. And then your school will be saved. You can complete the rest if you attended more than one school. In the case where this school is wrong, maybe it's Rehoboth Combined School, for instance, instead of high school, you can just click here where it says delete. There's a tab here. And then you can just say save, and that school will be deleted. Now you can either fill these details in one by one, one save, the second one save, or you can complete them all at once and just save. In my case, it's 1, it's saved. Then I move on to the school living subject, which is here. Again, it's the same concept of a screen design. The date which I've attended, which is then here. So this is your grade, your current grade, your last grade that you have passed. So these are the results that you're applying with. So it could be that it's 2021. Again, the type, there's a magnifying glass there, please use it. And all the types will be listed here. You can search for them there as well. I am just using random data, guys. Please do not do as I'm doing. Use real data, correct data. So mine is 17, and then my particular subject, again, please do not type it out, go search for that particular subject. In my case, it could be accounting SG. All the subjects are listed, quite a long scroll. You can search for them as well. So in my case, I would like to use accounting SG. And then the grade, again, is a magnifying glass. It's Namibian A level. You should know better what that means. And then, as you can see, the rest of the fields aren't mandatory. So you need to give us all the results that you have, whether it's pre-media, this is your August results, or final results if you already have them available. Because remember, the same form that is used by students that are currently studying is the same form that's going to be used by students that are either improving or took a gap year or completed years ago and would like to come back and continue their study for the following year. So in this case, again, use your magnifying glass, put in the data. So what was your simple pre-final year? If you have that, you can put it in, whether you are using the ABC or the HIXI level A1, 2, 3, you fill it in correctly, and then the percentage that you might have gotten, and so on. If you are happy with all the details, again, you can either complete all the subject fully or one by one, and you can save. So that will be like how, oops, sorry, there's an error here that says my final year subject is not bad. Then if I save, my accounting will be saved. Again, it's the same delete concept. If you want to delete it, you can just click on it, save, and then you can. I think the one common question that we get here is the screen is a little bit wider for most devices. So at the very bottom, just use your cursor and scroll down at the end to delete or add your particular subject. Here it's asking you if you are grading your matric or grade 12. There's a yes or no option. So please select the right choice for you. And then right here, this is where you would upload all your documents. Most users normally miss this part. So please click on it so that you can upload your required documents as explained earlier in terms of the documents that are needed. So if you click on view or upload document, click here, a pop-up will appear, and then you then have to upload your document. It is of note that at this time you should have all your documents scanned on your PC, on your computer, in a PDF format, readily available for upload. If I go here, for instance, I have my application document folder here. So click on it. There's my grade 12 certificate or my ID or my medical certificate, study permit for international students if I'm an international student. So I would, for instance, say my ID. Then I just put in my comment here so that I'll say ID. I'll then say save, and then I'll close it. As you can see, nothing appears here, so you don't really know whether you have uploaded the document or not. So if you click on list all, the document will be there. If you need to upload another document, you repeat the process. You choose your file, you go to your certificate or your grade 11 results, whichever one is applicable to you. You put in a description of what you are applying. And you make sure that your description is as correct. You save it, you close, you list your selection, and the document is there. Now, we would advise you not to scan all your documents at once and upload them in one single file. Not only is that file a little bit bigger and might put strain on your uploads and might delay you, it is also hard for the staff members that are going through your form if they just need to go have a look at your ID. That means they would have then to scan through all the documents. So if possible, please upload them one by one like this, so that if there's one particular document that is not available or it's corrupt or it's not easily seen or detectable, you'll be able to get your feedback quicker and easier of what document is missing so that you can just submit that. Once you have submitted all the required documents, you can then just close. Then it will bring you back to this page where you can just save, and all your documents at this particular stage will then be uploaded. So this will be one of the most important screens that you need to fill out, because it's on this screen that will be used to evaluate your application. Your provisional admission will be based on your results, on the documents that you have uploaded, and so on. Make sure that you have uploaded the correct subjects. Make sure that the documents are correct and are visible when they are scanned. And also make sure that when you're applying for a particular course, you have the right subjects. So you have the right subjects that are entered. Once you have saved and made sure all the details are correct here, you save the document. Then you go to the next step, which is entering your previous qualifications. This might not be applicable to everyone. So if it's not, just skip it and go to the next step. If it is though, please fill in all the information as required. Fill as it is, and when you are done, you can just save and move on to the next step, which is then to submit your application. So here it is then where you are required to enter what you want to come study at the university. So the academic year that you're applying for, in this case, it's the following year at most. And then you find the program or qualification that you want to study for. You should already know what you want to study at this particular stage. So if you want to study accounting, for instance, you put in accounting or just account, and then you search that particular field. So the third, like your research restriction, the third field here. So you can either restrict it to undergraduate programs only or postgraduate, or you can just leave it as it is so that you can see all the available options. If you search, it will give you all the courses that are in accounting. You can then go read up on our website what each course entails, the requirements, and so on. And when you are happy, you can come select whichever one applies to you. In my case, it's accounting. In which period, to let us, when would you like to study for the qualification? In this case, it's year block. And then in which period are you intending to study? You could be a returning student that have already studied here, might not have finished your studies. So in this case, for me, it's my first year. And then the academic preference, this is your choice. This particular course that you have selected here, this one. Is that your first choice or your second choice? Because you can only have up to 2 choices. In my case, it's my first choice. If that is correct, I'll then save and continue. So it will give me all the details, what I'm applying for, block, first year, and the various fees where applicable. If I'm happy, I will say accept the application. And like that, the application will then be sent through to the relevant offices. If you click OK, you are then given to select your second choice. Again, it's for the same academic year. Maybe my second choice is law. If I search, I'll have all the fields about law that contains the word law. So I'll then select whichever one applies to me. As you can see, with law, it's a bit different. So depending on the course that you are choosing, it will either give you the study mode, whether you want to study it on part-time, full-time, or distance. If that option is not given, by default, it's on full-time options. So in this case, it will then ask me the first question, the study for the qualification. If I select on that, I will then choose whichever option is applicable to me. In my case, I would like to come study law full-time at the Windhoek campus. So any other campus that is listed here, they will be offering this particular course for that academic year 2022. If it's not listed here, it means that option either is not available or is not yet opened up, which most of the case means the course you will not be able to do it at that particular campus, and you can only select the listed campus. So in my case, it's Windhoek. Then it will tell me the year block. I would like to come study the first year, and this will be my second option. You can't have 2 first options or 2 second options. So in my case, it's second option. I'm happy, I save and continue. Again, I just verify and make sure that it's correct. If not, you can restart the process. If you are happy, you accept the application. It's been received by the relevant officers. Click OK. And once you are done, you go to the next part, which is view your applications, which you just completed. So these are the 2 options that you have selected. At this particular time, you cannot delete or change these options. If for some reasons you like these options changed, you need to call our student records, give them your details, ask them to delete one or both of these records, then you can continue and input your new application details as you wish, but you cannot edit or delete this particular information that you have already applied for. So you need to be sure when you're applying if you do not want your details edited by you calling us. Once you are happy, go to the next step, which is any disabilities. So you can fill it in. So you can select any disability. You put in the remarks if there is any. Then you just say save. Again, the same concept applies. If you want to delete it, you click on delete here. Make sure it's ticked, and then you save it. Again, the same concept also applies. You can fill it in one by one and save, or you can fill it all at once and just save. Once you have completed any disabilities that you might have, you then have to upload the documents here. So if you have any medical certificates that is proving about of any of the disabilities that you have indicated here, please click on view and upload documents. The same concept applies as when you are uploading your academic documents, your results, your ID, the same screens really. So you upload. In my case, I have already in my application documents, I had a medical certificate here. So if I click on it to tell me that, then you fill it in as the usual. Please make sure that you're writing it out full and incomplete. Once you are happy, please save and then close, not the other way around. Save. and then you can close. And then if you list, your documents will be listed here. If you are listing and the document is not here, that means it was not uploaded. Please repeat the process again. Once you have uploaded all the necessary documents, you can click on close and your documents will be here. It's not visible to you, but the system does record them. You can then save your record, and once you are happy with all the details that you have filled in here, you can go to the second last process, which is then your process status, which is right there. So this will then tell you all the compulsory fields with a Y. That means it should be filled out, and then it will indicate to you if you have completed all these steps. So you viewed and you signed the application rules, it's compulsory, and you did that. Where your previous qualifications, this was not compulsory and we didn't fill it in as well. That's why it's saying N, meaning it wasn't completed. Once this is all done, you can then check your academics status as it is. So your application is not processed and finalized the same day that you submitted. So it's on this screen that you can then come back and log in at your convenience and come check the progress and the status of your application. It could be that this particular field you might not be admitted for the reasons as seem necessary, whether it's full in a particular study mode that you have selected, or you do not meet the requirements and so on, but you might be accepted in your second field, for instance. All that status will then be given here. So you can always come back, sign in, and just check the status of your document. So that is how you apply as a new and a returning student. You want to come do a new course for the following academic year at the University of Namibia. If you then want to continue and you require accommodation at UNAM as well, the next step, which is then residence, that is where you go. So if you close your application and you go to residence, for instance, you'll find that, again, it's the same. You need to accept and sign off the accommodation rules. You are happy, you can print it out and read it later, or you can just accept when you have read all the terms and conditions. Once you are done, return, and then you say submit residence application. Again, for what year? 2020. You cannot apply for your academic year in a different year and your residence in a different year. It does not make sense. They need to be in the same year. Year block, this usually means a year. So you would like hostel for the whole year. So it's usually the only option that is available. And then the building. We are aware that most students may not know the names of our hostel buildings. We urge you to rather use the names of the towns or the campus where you would like to go study. The accommodation officials will process your form accordingly. So if you are going to study in Ongwediva, choose any Ongwediva that you see. If you are going in Windhoek, choose any Windhoek campus that you see. It doesn't matter whether it's male or female. The colleagues will advise when your application is received. So we have all the campuses and buildings on the system. Hopefully this will be changed to campuses soon to make it easier for students just to apply. But this is how you select your hostel. So once you're happy, just select your hostel. In my case, I would like to go study medicine, for instance. Let me see if I can find it. I can't. So you can always use your search icons. So you search for your hostel and then you just input as it should be. In my case, I want to go study at the School of Medicine in Windhoek. So I would select it. And then once I'm happy, I'll just say proceed with application. And that's it really. Your hostel application has been submitted and received by the officials. If for some reason you no longer require hostel, maybe you found somewhere to go live, you can just cancel your applications. You just give us a brief reason why you're canceling this application, whether it's academic reasons and so on, and then you can cancel. Please do not cancel your hostel. If you require hostel, it will revoke your first application. So that is how you apply for residence at
at UNAM. Again, you can always come log back in and you can check your admission status here, whether you have been accepted into the hostel or not. So that is how you apply for hostel. And when the time is right and you have been admitted, this is where the online registration will take place. In your case, this is not yet applicable to you because you need to be admitted into the university first before you can register online. Also, you can only register online when the circles have been opened up by the relevant officers. So that is how you apply as a new and returning student to the University of Namibia. So if there's any questions, again, you can visit our UNAM website, www.unam.edu.na. At the very bottom, we have all the info. This is our switchboard number. You can call and ask to be put through to student records that would mostly be dealing with your applications. You can also send a detailed email to student records at inquiries@unam.edu.na. Inquiries@unam.edu.na. Now, we encourage all our students to be as descriptive as possible in their problems reporting. We receive about 30 to 50,000 applications annually. As you can imagine, the process gets a bit hefty on most students. So when you send an email, please be as descriptive. Don't just say my system is not working or I can't log in. Give a brief explanation of what the problem is. Give your student number if you have, so that when the user comes to your particular query, you are able to find and get all the responses in one, instead of having the back and forth queries of please provide your student number, what exactly is the issue, and so on. Having said that, I would like to thank you all, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to check out our website always. Most of the queries are addressed here, the faculties and the campuses. If not, do feel free to contact the relevant various departments. Thank you so much.